arrangement in a WordPress block is for there to be some controls, of one kind or another, in the back end when you're using the WordPress editor. And right now, all we're doing in the edit function is spitting out some just some text. So just to sort of get things rolling, even though it doesn't really have to do with data in the front end, let's just very quickly add a control in the back end here. So here's our function. This controls what happens in the WordPress editor. I'm going to change these paragraph tags to div tags just because that's sort of more normal. I need a div tag to wrap all of the stuff that I'm using here because I'm using something called JSX, and we're not going to worry about what that is right this second, but we will talk a little bit more about it. So what I would like to do is just add a component, and the component that I'm thinking we should add is text control. And this is a React component, so it needs to be either have a closing tag or be self-closing. We'll make it self-closing. It works like, just like an input field in a regular form. So more or less. And so it supports things like a label attribute, enter some data, right? And, and other things like value equals some value, right? And that's kind of all there is to it, except that we do have to let the system know that we are going to use that component text control. So we're just going to import text control from @WordPress components. Right, so that should do that. And if I haven't screwed anything up, I'll still be in trouble because I need to run npm run start so that the version of edit.js that I'm working with will be recompiled into build. I'll be curious to see if that works. Let's just find out. I'll just go back into edit. Okay, there it is. Good. And you can see it's preset with some value, but I'll change it to something like, hey, well, look at that. I can't change it. And you want to know why? Because even though I put it in there, I haven't told it to do anything, or I haven't made it react to changes in this control field. And if you've worked with JavaScript and use onChange before, you'll have a sense of what is missing here. So kind of what I need is I need something to happen when there's an onChange event. And I need it to be sort of active JX or JavaScript. And so I'm going to put it, when you want something dynamic to happen in JSX, you put it between curly braces. So there's that. And it will be, so it can be an anonymous function. It can even be an arrow function. So let's just do that. So we're going to be handed a value. And we are going to use set attributes to make our attribute, which we don't have yet. I'm going to call it new header. No, I'm going to call it my header. And we want to set it to new value, which was what was passed in. We are going to have to create that attribute, and we also need to arrange to actually use set attributes. So over here, we're going to be handed props, and we just need to destructure attributes and set attributes from props. Right. Yeah. Okay. So if I've done this right, so we need to do a couple of things here. We want this to actually not be this just random value here. We actually want it to be attributes. Don't need this. Attributes dot my header, which reminds me I still haven't created that. That's going to be created in block.json. Just going to add a new bit here, attributes, and that takes an object, and there's so we're just going to have this one, my header. That takes an object. There's only one thing in the object, and that is type string. Okay, so that should do that. And then back over and edit. Where'd you go? There we go. Back over and edit. So now we'll be able to find that, and this set attributes should be okay. Let's see. Okay, now we're having fun. Okay, and you notice the update button lit up. So I'm able to do that, so I'm going to update. Now if I reload, this text here, when it reloads, it'll still be there. It's not too dramatic, but what that means is that it was saved as an attribute for this instance of the block, so that's good. Now, if we go view the post on the front end, all we're getting is the static text from the block. And, you know, typical procedure would be for us to pick up the attribute that we'd saved in the edit part of the operation. So let's jump into save. And the way you would sort of normally do this, again, just out of habit, I'm going to change this to div. And we'll take that out. And so we should be able at this point to do something like p Now let's make it. Let's get it. Let's get it bigger. Let's make it an H4. And we'll just put in right here. We get props, and I can actually change this to attributes and destructure it directly as it comes in. That's supposed to be around attributes. Sorry. There we go. So now attributes should be set up, and I should be able to just say, again, curly braces, attributes dot my header, right? So let's have a look. Oh, I'm going to need to reinsert this. Yeah. So actually, this brings up an important point. Why this is being flagged as unexpected or invalid content, and I think it would be best to just stop right here and pick this up in the next segment. So I will see you there.